Hi, welcome to the Marketing Mind. Thank you for subscribing to my channel. Thank you for your comments and your likes. I'm glad you're here. Let's get going. So I did an earlier video about how to find your social media person, how to hire a social media person or a digital marketing person. Um, and that's if you're a small business, a mid-sized company, or I make the distinction between those sizes of a business, either local or online, like an e-commerce business. So I make the distinction between that and what a person might be doing in a major corporation as a social media marketer or the digital marketing person or whatever. And I went through all of that in the earlier video because some people might just be in the job market, not a business operator, and and simply looking for a role or one of these positions. And it helps to run down the vertical of what the different job titles are and roles and responsibilities. Because a lot of times, a lot of the information that's online, some of it can be muddled, or maybe more than one job title might be conflated into one role. And so in an earlier video, I went through all of that. However, that video was quite long. So this is the abridged version, and I'm going to try to get this under 15 minutes. How to hire your social media person. Even if you're an e-commerce operator who's an actual upstart as opposed to an existing company with, X amount of employees. Nonetheless, what you might want to look for in a few different scenarios. So I'll start here as I did in the last video. I'm going to talk about your senior marketing person, your senior, in this case, social media marketing manager, senior digital manager, or something like that. That would be more than likely for a company that has about 200 employees, approximately, somewhere in there. And the industries that I gave as an example that might have that amount of employees and be looking for a senior marketing management person. Um, the examples that I gave were real estate and insurance. Could be in manufacturing as well, where there's probably like 200 or 300 employees or something, and one person has the senior social media marketing or senior marketing manager title, something like that. That's executing on the strategy for all of the pieces online that make up a succinct, powerful online presence. And I was saying in a company that's around that size, like 200 people, um, at minimum, your social media manager, senior social media marketing person or digital marketing person should be making at minimum like $70,000 or maybe as much as $110,000. It's going to be worth it because proving return on investment comes with the territory. It's part of the job. It's something that goes into the discussion up front during the hiring process. So that person should be paid a significant amount, and it takes about 200 employees more or less for that person to be senior. And the reason, or for the amount of responsibilities to be involved, where a senior person would be needed. And hmm, in terms of the fact that that is a senior media marketing person, it comes back to the reality that that person might be managing, let's say, 2 to 5 employees, something like that, or might be considered your senior marketing management person because all of the pieces that are a part of your online presence or your online campaign. So that's paying attention and making sure the work is done on your website, your social media profiles, how you show up in the search engine, at paid advertising, all of the pieces. And then where your social media profiles are concerned, there's, at least a dozen to consider offhand where you might have a presence. But a business, a substantial company that has a substantial amount of employees probably should have at least like three social media profiles. You don't want more than that because you don't want your presence online to be diffused unless you're, going in the direction of a large corporation where you already are. Obviously, those people show up everywhere. But for a company that has like about 200 employees, give or take, you probably want a senior social media marketing person or senior marketing manager. I gave you like a salary range approximately, and those are the things that the person's going to be doing. Could be hands on with the complete plethora of responsibilities involved in your online marketing campaign, and or managing a team of like 2 to 5 people, something like that. Okay. I'll do the same thing as I did in my longer video. I'll circle back now to what the entry level role looks like, because a lot of small businesses or perhaps an e-commerce operator might be looking for this. And I'll tell you a story to sort of shape up here some of the thinking that goes into the entry level role. So the entry level social media hire, that's either going to be an intern who is unpaid, or a marketing assistant, or a virtual assistant who is really just focused on tasks and doesn't have a lot of responsibility in your brand, and really not strategy, at the entry level. Um, so, not too far ago, like in the recent past, I had a conversation with a small business. It was a restaurant, and they own more than one location in a couple of states. And they got that far, like having a strong local presence wherever they are, but didn't have a social media hire, a social media marketer or a digital marketing person, doing the online portion of their business. They had just done the legwork and built more than one location of their restaurant. So I talked with them as a consultant, and it was a really good conversation. But in the end of the conversation, after like an hour, the owner was not quite ready. And I walked away from that understanding that something that I want to impart to you. And that is that because their model for growth was so intimate, and they managed to do so in more than one location, even though they're at the point now, the stage where they want to grow and, like, if you will, pop online, that they've never done anything like that before. And after our conversation, which I didn't get to while we were talking, it occurred to me afterwards. She, the female partner in this business that I'm talking about, she didn't want a marketing consultant or a social media, marketing manager to take this on. What she really wanted was a personal assistant. So she created like a significant proposal for what she was looking for. Probably found that information on like indeed.com or something like that. And, put that signal out there to try to get some help. But after we talked and considering what she was ready for, she didn't realize that more than likely what she's looking for is a personal assistant. Like, not even a virtual assistant or a marketing assistant, but a personal assistant, because of the nature of how they grew their business. So it's definitely worth like thinking through, even if you want an entry level person, thinking through the kind of position you want that person to be in. Because I'll tell you, personal assistants, a lot of the times, a personal assistant works for someone like on television, will work for like the cast of a television show, or like a book author or something like that. It would be a challenge. So if you can get a personal assistant, whose ear you have while they're doing the work, on behalf of your brand, chances are, if you can get a person like that to work in like the back office of your brick and mortar business, whatever it may be, um, that person is going to want there to be something in it for them. That's just the case when you're hiring the creative person, which all of the social media management and digital marketing roles are, even though they feed into business development. Um, and furthermore, even if you hire an intern, you know, a student who you're not paying or something like that, or, an experienced person who's like changing lanes and wants to go down this path, um, there's going to come a time where that person starts to think for themselves, because that's the nature of what the tools do. That's the nature of what all of the marketing software equip a person to do. And it's growing and it's changing like every day, meaning the functionality, the AI functionality, all that's being put into different kinds of software to empower the growth of your business online, find your customers, and all of it is evolving so quickly. Um, and even before this period, where the word AI is being tossed around constantly, it's always been the case that there's been like a democratization of what people can do online. It's quite entrepreneurial. A few years ago, the word intrapreneur was being used for people who are enterprising and use all these tools but are working within a large company or corporation. So even your intern who you're not paying, or assistant that you're paying by the hour or something like that, probably for 20 to 25 hours a week, that person is going to start to think for themselves. It's not really a role where you just tell the person what to do and how to do the job. That's not what it is. If you need a person who generates growth, who does that for you, that person is going to put their thinking cap on and bring it to the work. So a personal assistant definitely would be looking for, like I said, the kind of like cred or juice, if you will. A lot of times they're sort of connected to like a fashion designer, or a reality TV show or something. And or if you're a small business that really needs a personal assistant, and not just and not like a marketing consultant or a manager, someone that you hand the work off to, then you're probably looking at a family member. And it should be someone who wants to go into the business. In this case, it was the restaurant industry. So if you can get a family member who also wants to be in the restaurant business, there's your personal assistant. Okay. So that's entry level. And that's what you might want to think in terms of the difference between a personal assistant, a marketing assistant who has certain tasks that they execute upon, a virtual assistant who is very affordable, and I forget what the last one was. Personal, marketing, virtual, intern who's not being paid. You're both learning. Okay. So above that would be the coordinator. That's a person where, if you're a small to medium sized business, obviously coordinators exist within a large corporation as well, but I'm going to focus here on small to medium sized business. You can call the job title coordinator. You might be paying them sort of mid salary or by the hour, either one. And in that case, that's if you're somewhat knowledgeable. If you went into the back office yourself and built your own website, and there's certain things that your coordinator is going to take over, the coordinator title and level of pay would be suitable if you're somewhat of an informed person about all of this digital marketing kind of a thing, and or if you had someone working with you or for you before and help you get set up, and someone new is going to take your assets over, that might be a coordinator. Okay. The next level would be your social media manager or your digital marketer. Uh, those people have like a similar level of seniority. Chances are they're not managing they're not, yes, managing other people, but they are going to manage. They are going to take on the complete scope of what your online presence and online marketing campaign or campaigns are about. So, meaning your email marketing, your social media profiles, your website maintenance, if you do other kinds of content like video or audio or something, they're either going to do it, have some of those skills, have graphic design skills as well, and or get the right person to produce more content for you. So the complete scope of what all the social media and digital marketing things are about in terms of producing assets, generating brand awareness, and attracting your customers wherever they are online. The manager, social media manager, digital marketing person is going to do those things. So, if you're a company that's like about 200 people, again, in real estate or insurance or manufacturing or something like that, um, pay that person $75,000 a year. Um, Definitely, if you're smaller, like 25 people or 50 people, in your company, and you've got one person operating the complete scope of your online presence and marketing campaigns and executing on your strategy, in addition to the, $70,000 that you're paying the person, you should consider profit sharing and giving that person a percentage of your profitability if you're a very small organization, or profit a percentage of profit on a particular product, at least if there's something that the person focuses on very heavily, and or if the person is like primary in terms of a new product launch or joins you in a new season or something like that. That is a way to attract and keep a person who takes on the complete scope of the online marketing things that have to be done. So, okay, that's entry level, coordinator, manager, and senior marketing manager. Okay, so if you like this content, leave a comment. Let me know. I can go into greater detail and talk about it some more. But there's a good idea about the kind of hire you might be looking for. And if you're in the market for one of those kinds of roles, that is a way to dissect and discern between, the job titles that you're coming across and descriptions that you're reading, because not everyone gets it right. But you can set your expectations by thinking, in terms of that vertical. Oh, one other thing I would say, your social media manager or your digital marketing person, which is above your coordinator, may not be managing other people, but does take on the complete scope of your presence and your campaigns. The difference between the two people at that level is that your social media manager or social media marketing person, make sure that your organic presence and promotion is sound and secure, and that your brand is in each of the assets and pieces of you that are living online. Whereas your digital marketing person might do some things that are more technical. Yeah, there could be a little programming involved in there, very simple stuff. The person doesn't need to write code. Most like websites and various tools have very cut and paste simple pieces of code that may be moved around sometimes, and or paid advertising, Facebook, Google, pay per click, all of that. The digital marketing person specializes more in the paid advertising, and there's certain things that the platform will require the person to do. So, yeah, little pieces of code and pieces of information that involve or pertain to staying in step with your customers with a digital footprint. So that's the difference. The social media manager is probably more creative, and the digital marketer is more technical. Um, it's a big challenge to ask someone to do both, because they're two facets of the same degree of seniority over the execution of your strategy. So, okay. Hope that helps. If you like that, leave a comment. Let me know. I can go into more details and let me know what you would like more detail on. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for your likes and everything else. And I'll talk to you soon. Bye.